Victory Monday, but some injury concerns.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? Matt Dery with you. It's another week of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day on a Monday, September 23rd to Tuesday, September 24th. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcast. Lions are 2-1. They knock off the Cardinals yesterday. We had a Sunday show yesterday. We recap it some more today on a Monday edition of Locked On Lions. Thanks for subscribing and watching for free on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. What is up to some of our everydayers that are out there? Those of you that check out the show daily, we got some new everydayers I've learned about today, including the legendary Brad Shires. Yes, Brad, don't worry. I'm mentioning you, but not an unnamed Sandler sales guy. Brad Shires is an everydayer. Robert Mendieta, who was out at the game yesterday. Paul Soltisiak. Thank you, Paul and Ryan Dolly, who hit me up on LinkedIn. Some of our everydayers. We appreciate all of you that watch or listen to the show each and every day. You can follow us on Twitter at Dery Speaks, at Locked On Lions, Matt Dery Facebook fan page as well. The program today is brought to you by FanDuel. Place your first $5 bet, and you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, we got some injury news. We got a guy that's likely going to be out for the year. That is not a big surprise. It sucks, but we got to get into that. Derrick Barnes got chop blocked, which I thought was a Bush League move by Trey McBride, the tight end, after I watched it a couple more times. I know it's a legal play at the line of scrimmage when it's one against one. I get that. Still didn't like it. We'll get into that. We have the PFF grades from today. Top 5 and bottom 5 Lion performers on offense and defense. And I watched some tape this morning very early. I was up at 6 a.m. and flipping around and watching some stuff. The Vikings are 3-0, and they're really well coached. The Bears are 1-2, and I'm telling you, Matt Eberflus is not going to be around very long. He's not. It's just not happening. You're seeing what coaching does in this division, both on the positive and the negative. All of that coming up today on this Monday edition of Locked On Lions. Got a new cup, by the way, thanks to our friends at Walsh College. You can enjoy my my water here during the program. All right, so here we are. Lions got back to doing what the Lions do best yesterday. Wasn't the greatest performance. Lions can play better. The 9 penalties bothered me. The lack of touches for Jamison Williams bothered me. Sam Laporta still not totally entrenched in the offense, but hey, in Kansas City, they're saying the same thing about Travis Kelce. But what I loved was the ground game. What I loved was watching the video of the offensive line carrying David Montgomery through the air. Through the air, he was floating down the left side for a couple of extra yards. That's how the Lions have to play. And we've talked about this for a long time. And one of my crack research staff pointed this out to me. Let me find it here. I wasn't fully prepared for this, but I know my crack research staff. Hold on. This was a really good number. And you look up and you go, all right, well, we're doing this, we're doing that, and the offense isn't scoring points, and they were shut out the second half. But think about this. Since week 9 of the 2022 season, the Lions are 24-9, including the playoffs, which is the third best record in the NFL, only worse than San Francisco and Kansas City. Lions fans haven't witnessed this kind of a regular season and this kind of a run in like 60 years. Seriously, that's pretty darn good. 24-9 since week 9 of the 2022 season. So it's funny how we move the goalposts a little bit. Oh, well, the Lions squeaked by Arizona. Yeah, Matt Dery was saying on the Sunday pod they could play better, and Jared Goff could play better, and all these things. Yes, but they just keep winning. They're 3 games into the season. They played 3 good teams. Arizona's a good team. Tampa Bay's a good team, although I don't know what happened yesterday. And the Rams are good. We saw what happened yesterday. The Rams came back to beat the Niners. These are three decent teams they played. They weren't lining up against Tennessee. They weren't playing the Clowns in Cleveland or the Bears for that matter. And the Lions are 2-1. They went on the road and won. And they rode their offensive line. And when I go over the PFF grades, you'll see. Right? Proof is in the pudding. They know they have things to clean up. They know they committed 9 penalties yesterday. They got some injuries. But this defense is playing lights out. And defense is usually ahead of the offense right now. You look at these teams that are starting rookie quarterbacks, the Bears defense ahead of their offense with Caleb Williams starting. Denver's defense is ahead of its offense with Bo Nix starting, right? And you see it around the league. Offenses are struggling, but for the Lions defense to do what they did yesterday, to hold the Cardinals to 13 points, to hold them to 1 of 9 on third downs, or I think it was 1 of 10. Kyler Murray, keeping him bottled up. No splash plays. It's pretty good. And there's young guys on that defense. Aiden Hutchinson is still young. Terrion Arnold is young. Kirby Jones, this is a young defense. The graybeard, I guess, of the group is Alex Anzalone or maybe DJ Reader. So we can sit here and complain and nitpick, and that's what we do. Look, I'm on here every day doing a show. Got to talk about it. I'm going to keep it real. But no apologizing for winning. And to go out west and have to travel all the way out there. And yes, the Lion fans, you were remarkable. If I see one more video on TikTok or Instagram of Crackman singing Forward Down the Field on the plane, there were numerous planes with people singing the Lions fight song. But the team delivered for you. They got you a win. You know, there were mistakes. There was a missed extra point and other things that went on. But all in all, they could play a lot better. They got Seattle coming in for Monday Night Football this week. Seahawks are 3-0, so the Lions will be motivated. Geno Smith is playing as well as any quarterback in the league, and we know this too. Geno lights the Lions up. I don't know why that is, but he has had very good success the last few years coming to Ford Field and winning football games. Lions got to put a stop to that. And it's not going to be easy with DK Metcalf, certainly, and Charbonnet and the guys that the Seahawks have. We do know this. Seattle's down to their third string right tackle. So 4th straight week, Aiden Hutchinson will be facing a backup right tackle. So we got that going for us, which is nice. But regardless, Lions won. And that's all that matters. Think about what they're saying in Minnesota right now. Think they're nitpicking about a few things? Yes. But the Vikings have been ferocious with their pass rush. And what Brian Flores has done, they're 3-0. Pittsburgh, their offense is atrocious. Atrocious. Their defense is so good it doesn't matter. They're 3-0. Seattle's 3-0. So we'll take a win any way we can get it. And for the Lions right now to have that third best winning percentage going back to week 9 of October of 22, only the Niners and Chiefs are better, tells you about this program, as Pat McAfee would say, program, and how they're building this thing. And yesterday was another step. You just got to keep taking these steps, keep winning. They know they can improve. They know there's things, especially offensively, they're not really clicking. Jared Goff has more interceptions than touchdown passes right now. But that's not an easy win to get yesterday, and they got it. All right, coming up next, we got some injuries to talk about. Marcus Davenport's season appears done. Derrick Barnes is going to be out a while. Not good, Bob. We'll get into that coming up next here on a Monday edition of Locked on Lions. And Locked on Lions today brought to you by our friends at DoorDash. Listen up. You want food, you want beverages during games. You don't want to leave on Saturdays or Sundays at home to go out and pick up stuff. That's why it means it's time to order your favorite game day food, snacks, and drinks on DoorDash without missing a play. What's your best piece of game day advice for fellow fans? I can tell you this right now. It's getting DoorDash, whether it's wings, burgers, pizza, You want beer delivered? You need a bunch of chips, and you don't want to go through the aisles of Meijer or Kroger or whatever it is and go through the chip aisle and pick those all out. You can get all that stuff done at DoorDash. What are your 3 game day essentials? Whether it's extra batteries, maybe for the remotes or whatever you need, you can get all of that done at DoorDash. Seriously, they are the best. And they take so much pressure off of you that you know it's getting delivered right to your door, and it's great. Use the promo code LOCKEDFALL, FALL24, for 50% off up to a $10 value when you spend $15 or more on your first order. Limited time offer, terms apply. Promo is not valid for orders containing alcohol. DoorDash, your door to game day greatness, your door to more. Download the DoorDash app now to order your game day favorites. Must be 21 or over to order alcohol. Drink responsibly. Alcohol available only in select markets. It's DoorDash. All right, so the rap sheet, Ian Rappaport of NFL Network had it first today. Dan Campbell confirming it this afternoon. Marcus Davenport, the Lions defensive end, edge rusher, who's off to a pretty good start, missed one game, came back yesterday. Marcus Davenport with an elbow injury is likely season ending. Quote from Dan Campbell today: Davenport's going to be out. Looks like it's a season ender there. We're still getting some other options on it. End quote. Campbell mentioned Josh Paschal as a guy that is going to need to step up. And this is going to be a big opportunity for him. Look, Marcus Davenport, the Lions knew when they signed up for the Davenport experience that this was probably going to happen. He just can't stay healthy. Whether it's Minnesota or New Orleans, this is a former first-round pick that when he plays is really effective. He pressures the quarterback. He hurries the quarterback, occasional sack. Already had missed week 2 with an injury. Yesterday, injures his elbow. Sounds like he's going to need surgery, and sounds like his season is done. What does this mean for the rest of the roster? Well, you got a couple of guys in the practice squad, including Mitchell Agude, who played well during the regular season or during the preseason. And gasp, are we going to see James Houston? Will the Lions actually utilize the James Houston experience again? Because somebody's going to have to come up and step up on this roster. Houston was inactive for yesterday's game. Remember, it was 2-3 years ago. The guy had 8.5 sacks, and everybody's like, oh, diamond in the rough. And since then, he's pretty much been banished. We're going to find out what the Lions think of James Houston this week, because will he even be active? Will they be bringing up somebody from the practice squad? They got Ukwu, they got Agude. What will they do? But Marcus Davenport being lost for the year with an elbow injury just sucks. Absolutely sucks. And the Lions got decimated yesterday defensively with injuries, yet you saw the depth, you saw guys step up, and everybody contributed, and that was awesome to see. So stinks about Marcus Davenport. Was on a 1-year deal, and it sounds like he's going to be out for the season. As far as Derrick Barnes is concerned, I've watched this play numerous times on Twitter, and I rewound the tape. Derrick Barnes was cut blocked. He was on the left end. The tight end went in motion left, then went to the right. McBride came across on a handoff and cut blocked Derrick Barnes, injuring his knee. Campbell said today, quote, Barnes is going to be down a significant amount of time. But right now the team is still getting multiple opinions on his knee injury, and they're not sure if he's going to be placed on injured reserve or not. They're getting second opinions on things. Campbell said, we know he's going to need to be down for a little while the knee heals. Then once it heals, is it going to need surgery? Question mark. Derrick Barnes has been playing very well, whether it's a strong side linebacker, whether it's as an edge rusher. He's been good. He's improved every year. You've seen the maturity. He's worked with Chris Spielman. He's worked with the defensive coaches and Kelvin Shepard. And so this sucks for Derrick Barnes. Jalen Reeves-Maben, Ben Neiman took snaps in his stead. And again, like I said before, they've got Trevor Nowaski. They've got James Houston. They've got Isaac Ukwu and Mitchell Agude. So you got 2 guys that could play the edge in Barnes and Davenport that are both going to be out. So this sucks. But again, next man up. And right now the schemes and what Aaron Glenn has been putting out there as far as game planning has been really, really good. Also, defense lost Aleem McNeil yesterday. Dan Campbell said today, Mac will be day to day. So that's a good sign. Not sure if this shoulder injury for Aleem McNeil is going to cause him to miss Monday night's game against Seattle. But Dan Campbell, who is pretty transparent when it comes to injuries, unlike Jim Harbaugh and others, said he is day to day. Sam Laporta, low ankle sprain, also day to day. Tried to play through it yesterday. Was in and out of the lineup, but they need Sam Laporta, and they need to get him going. But he's considered day to day. Brian Branch right now, concussion protocol. He collided with the Trey McBride. Those two guys went helmet to helmet yesterday in the second half. Dan Campbell said today, quote, Branch is in the protocol, but as of today, he was doing pretty well. So we'll see where that goes. Lions have an extra day to get McNeil and Laporta and Branch and those guys ready for Monday night against Seattle. So you got a full day and a half, really, to see if they can get them going. Brian Branch, I thought yesterday was outstanding. Didn't give him a game ball, but I thought he was really good. Really good. Flying all over the field. He had a really bad opening week against the Rams, but he has bounced back and played very well. But here's the thing. This organization has been building this thing for the last couple of years so that they can withstand injuries like this. Remember how banged up the team was the first year of the Campbell regime in 2021? You had Bobby Price starting. You had Jerry Jacobs, who nobody knew at the time, starting. And if anybody got hurt, it was over. You couldn't even field an NFL roster. Now, like we said, Malcolm Rodriguez played a lot of snaps yesterday. Ben Neiman is a guy they like. Backup linebacker. Didn't hurt them yesterday. Along the defensive line, you could bring up a James Houston. You could bring up an Agude. Pascal can move around. Kaminsky eventually will be back. So there's some depth here, which is a good thing. But you don't want to lose too many guys. Mekhi Wingo, I thought, had some moments yesterday. So there's depth here. Defense has played well, but you never want to see Derrick Barnes and Marcus Davenport both be out a while. Davenport's going to be out for the year. Barnes, will see if this is going to be a lengthy injury or not. And again, could the Lions make a move at the trade deadline? Could they go after, a handful of players, a couple of players on bad teams? We'll see. Think about this. A guy like Charles Harris is on the Panthers now, familiar with the system. If Carolina lets him go, and I know he played a little bit yesterday, but would you bring a guy like that back? Just using that as an example. But everybody's kind of grouped in at 1-2, 2-1, 3-0. It's not a ton. There's only 4 3-0 teams. All these teams are kind of in the same spot right now. Tennessee's 0-3. They're brutal. Certainly, Terrell Williams, the Lions line coach, knows some of the guys on the Titans and knows what they have down there. If Tennessee spirals out of control and this gets ugly and they're 0-5, 0-6, keep an eye on that as a possibility. But I think for right now, the Lions are going to go with what they have. And they feel pretty good about some of the guys on that practice squad, like I said, including Mitchell Agude, who nearly made the regular roster. All right, PFF grades, top 5 and bottom 5 Lion performers from yesterday's victory in Arizona against the Cardinals. Let's start on the offensive side this week. Penei Sewell, highest graded Lion at 84.9. Fantastic game for Sewell once again. His partner in crime on the right side of the offensive line, Kevin Zeitler, 83.1. Sam Laporta graded high, 82.3. Frank Ragnow at center, 81.3. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, 79.5 grade. Those are the top 5 Lion offensive players, according to PFF, from their 7-point win over the Cardinals. Who finished at the bottom? Parker Hesse, fullback / tight end, 42.5. Dan Skipper, 44.3. Tim Patrick, 34 snaps, 52.2. Tim Patrick played 29 more snaps than Khalif Raymond yesterday. Raymond had 5 snaps, finished with a 55.9. And Jamison Williams, just 1 catch, 57.3, was the 5th worst offensive grade on the Lions yesterday. As far as on the defense, for the 3rd straight week, who else tops the grades but Aiden Hutchinson at an 82.2 grade. Second was Kirby Joseph, interception yesterday, 80.4. Batting third was DJ Reader at 73.5. Jack Campbell, 59 snaps, 70.3. Derrick Barnes, before the injury, a 70 grade. Those are your top 5 Lions on defense. Bottom 5, who struggled? Jalen Reeves-Maben, 32.8 grade. Ouch, that's low. Marcus Davenport, before he got hurt, 39.2. Josh Paschal, a 41.3. Terrion Arnold, 4th worst grade, 52.4. I thought he'd be better than that from watching the film. And then Malcolm Rodriguez, 57.5. Those are your bottom 5 Lions graded out from Sunday's 20-13 win over the Arizona Cardinals. All right, coming up next, let's go around a little bit of the NFC North. Dalton Wasserman from Pro Football Focus is going to join us on Wednesday. We'll do the crossover on Thursday. A lot to do this week. Your 2-0 or 2-1 Detroit Lions back at home for Monday Night Football. Back after this. Hey, folks, let's tell you about FanDuel. You can start the NFL season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. You know, tonight we got not 1, but 2 Monday Night Football games. Commanders and Bengals is one of them. I don't even, who we got tonight? Bills, maybe 2? Look, you want to get in on the action, you want to watch both games and bet on the games, you can do so at FanDuel. When you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. That's the beauty of FanDuel. It's not just an awesome site for the bettors. It's awesome for information. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets as well, guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. All of that at FanDuel.com. FanDuel.com. Tomorrow night, the Tigers are back home against the Rays. Man, you want to keep betting on the Tigers? They keep winning. Hey, Jackson Job's up here. You want to lather up? You can do so at FanDuel.com. FanDuel.com, America's #1 sportsbook. Thanks for making us your first listen, checking us out wherever you get your podcasts, right here on Locked On Lions. We are here daily. Please tell a friend who you know is a big Lions fan that might not listen to the show or watch the show. Tell them about Locked On Lions, and we'll get some more. I'd love to get some more new listeners and new viewers here each and every single day. We love that. Having a blast talking Lions football with you. All right. No one thought 3 weeks in, not even Luke Braun, the host of Locked On Vikings, thought that 3 weeks in, the Minnesota Vikings, led by Kevin O'Connell, Sam Darnold, and Justin Jefferson, no one thought that the Minnesota Vikings would be in first place. But here they are at 3-0. They are playing well. And yesterday they shut down the Texans and held Houston, who I think is a Super Bowl contender in the AFC, to 7 points. They're sacking the quarterback. They're getting home. Brian Flores is a genius as a D coordinator. Does a really good job. And Minnesota's well coached, and they're off to a 3-0 start. You know who else is well coached? Green Bay. All right. I hate to say it, but Matt LaFleur has done a fantastic job there. Malik Willis, who the Tennessee Titans gave up after a year. They're like, we're done with this guy. He can't throw. We're going to go get Will Levis. And they gave up on Malik Willis. He's now the backup in Green Bay. All he's done is move the football and move the offense for the Packers in back-to-back weeks. They beat the Colts last week, got another win yesterday in impressive fashion in Tennessee against Willis's former team. And yes, I know the Colts and Titans aren't great teams, but just saying. And Green Bay is off to a 2-1 start. Could easily be 3-0 because they shot themselves in the foot overseas in week 1 against the Eagles. Regardless, Matt LaFleur is coaching up that team. They got a young defense. Willis at quarterback. Love's probably coming back soon. They're 2-1. Lions, not playing their best ball. But still, you see how well drilled this team is. You see the improvements on defense. Dan Campbell, went back to the ground game yesterday with Ben Johnson and Montgomery and Gibbs and all of that. You throw in a hook and ladder. All right, Lions look like a well-coached team. They're 2-1. So you got 3 teams over 500 in the division. Then you've got the Bears at 1-2. And I said it yesterday on the show. Go back and watch if you can, or go on NFL Network and DVR it when they re-showed these games. The Bears score a touchdown to make it 14-9. They're dancing on the sidelines. Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze are having fun figuring out who's going to keep the football. Oh, it's my first touchdown pass. Oh, but it's my first touchdown. All this crap. And you see on the sidelines, Eberflus is holding up 2 to go for 2 because it's 14-9 in the fourth quarter. You need to make it a 1-score game. 5 and 4 don't matter. 3 matters. And you got other coaches on the sidelines holding up the one finger. They had to call a timeout to figure out if they're going for 1 or 2 and needed that timeout later in the game. Then, when they got stuffed on a goal line stand by the Colts earlier in the game, they ran this option play to DeAndre Swift, which lost 10 yards. And on the play before that, on a fullback dive on 3rd and goal with, I think, Khalil Herbert, they had a receiver come in motion and block a defensive end. And today, Eberflus was asked about it, I guess. He's like, yeah, probably not our best move. We watched the film together, me and Shane Waldron, the offensive coordinator. Probably next time shouldn't have a wide receiver blocking an edge rusher. Like, they are poorly coached in Chicago. That offensive line is a mess. There's talent there, too. Caleb Williams is talented. Their receivers are talented. That defense is good. But you see what the well-coached teams are doing in the division and what the not-so-well-coached teams are doing. So just throwing it out there. All right, more tomorrow here on Locked On Lions. Again, Dalton Wasserman from Pro Football Focus on Wednesday, crossover on Thursday. Monday Night Football this week. Lions and the Seahawks. Hope everybody has a great Monday tonight. We're back again at it tomorrow.